Lectricit de France SA, commonly known as EDF, is a French multinational electric utility company, largely owned by the French state, headquartered in Paris, with €71.2 billion in revenues in 2016. EDF operates a diverse portfolio of 120 plus gigawatts of generation capacity in Europe, South America, North America, Asia, the Middle East, and Africa. In 2009, EDF was the world's largest producer of electricity. Its 58 active nuclear reactors are spread out over 19 sites. They comprise 34 reactors of 900 MWe, 20 reactors of 1300 MWe, and 4 reactors of 1450 MWe, all PWRs. In 2017, EDF took over the majority of the reactor business of Areva, in a French government-sponsored restructuring following financial and technical problems at Areva. In July 2017, France's environmental minister Nicolas Hulot stated that up to 17 of France's nuclear power reactors, all of which are operated by EDF, could be shuttered by 2025 to meet legislative targets for reducing dependence on the power source. However, in 2019, the French government asked EDF to develop proposals for 3 new replacement nuclear power stations. EDF specializes in electricity, from engineering to distribution. The company's operations include the following: electricity generation and distribution, power plant design, construction and dismantling, energy trading, and transport. It is active in such power generation technologies as nuclear power, hydropower, marine energies, wind power, solar energy, biomass, geothermal energy and fossil-fired energy. The electricity network in France is composed of the following. The EDF head office is located along Avenue de Wagram in the 8th arrondissement of Paris. The EDF head office is shared between several EDF sites in Greater Paris. EDF was founded on the 8th of April 1946. As a result of the nationalization of around 1,700 smaller energy producers, transporters and distributors by the Minister of Industrial Production Marcel Paul, mostly a state-owned epoch, it became the main electricity generation and distribution company in France, enjoying a monopoly in electricity generation, although some small local distributors were retained by the nationalization. This monopoly ended in 1999, when EDF was forced by a European directive to open up 20% of its business to competitors. Until the 19th of November 2004, EDF was a state-owned corporation, but it is now a limited liability corporation under private law, after its status was changed by statute. The French government partially floated shares of the company on the Paris Stock Exchange in November 2005, although it retained almost 85% ownership as of the end of 2008. On the 22nd of November 2016, French competition regulators raided EDF offices, looking for evidence that EDF was abusing its dominant position to manipulate electricity prices and squeeze rivals. Between 2001 and 2003, EDF was forced to reduce its equity capital by €6.4 billion total because of the performance of subsidiaries in South America and Europe. In 2001, it also acquired a number of British energy companies, becoming the UK's biggest electricity supplier. The company remains heavily in debt. Its profitability suffered during the recession which began in 2008. It made €3.9 billion in 2009, which fell to €1.02 billion in 2010, with provisions set aside amounting to €2.9 billion. In January 2013, the company sold its 1.6% stake in U.S. utility Exelon for $470 million. In March 2016, EDF's chief financial officer, Thomas P. Kemmel, who had argued that the final investment decision on building Hinkley Point C nuclear power station should be delayed for 3 years, resigned, with EDF's market value halved over the preceding year. The cost of the Hinkley Point C project now exceeded the entire market capitalization of EDF. In March 2017, EDF offered a €4 billion rights issue of new shares to increase capital availability. At a 34.5% discount, the French government committed to purchase 3 billion euros of the rights issue. Shares prices fell to an all-time low due to the heavy discount on new shares. EDF's net debt at the end of 2018 was 33 billion euros. But with future obligations such as pension liabilities and costs for managing nuclear waste allowed for, adjusted net debt was 70 billion euros. In order to improve EDF's finances, as of 2019 EDF has sold 10 billion euros of assets, with plans to sell a further 2 euros to 3 billion euros of assets by 2021. And shareholders have been allocated new shares rather than a cash dividend. Bonds have been issued in Asian currencies to expand sources of funding. It has financial commitments for new builds at Flamanville and Hinkley Point C. EDF is committed to spending 49.4 billion euros by 2025 for life extension of its French nuclear reactor fleet, which as of 2019 has an average age of 33 years to 50 years. France is the world's largest user of nuclear power for electricity. In May 2004, the French Interior Minister Nicolas Sarkozy reasserted, in front of the French Parliament, the primacy of a nuclear power. Much to the